Howdy folks, fellow firewood enthusiasts, YouTube aficionados. My name is Dean. My friends call me Deano, so from here on out I'm going to refer to myself as Deano. What I'm going to do is I'm going to invite you along for a little journey that my wife is undertaking in the firewood business. Now when I say firewood business, right now it's just a hobby of ours because we're in the process of getting some customers and getting enough wood to actually start this business. So for now it's just a hobby. Let me show you, we've got some wood for ourselves. We have our Holzhausen here, which has exploded on us for 3 times. And it's a symbiotic relationship we've got going here, my wife and myself, because I like to cut and split, and she likes to stack. I can't believe how many times she's restacked this thing. We also have, and that was mostly, we got some maple in there, we've got some ash, some birch, a little bit of oak, not much oak. But that's mostly for ourselves. We have over here, now this is some, I don't know if you can see this or not. This camera is doing some crazy things. This is some cherry that I'd split up, and we made these small chunks. I'm going to make them even smaller still, because we want to turn these into little smoker chunks. I've only got a couple of cherry trees down. I'm going to get some more and see if we can't sell some smoker chunks. And they do have kind of a unique smell. Yeah, it does have a nice pleasant aroma to it, so I can understand why people would want to use those as smoker chunks. The other thing we have is we have some oak. This is all strictly oak, 100% oak. All behind me, it's roughly 4 cords, so we have that. Again, that's for ourselves because we just cut that last year. It takes a long time for oak to dry. And then we have all this here oak, and there's a couple of cords there anyhow. So moving on, down here on our basketball court, I built the basketball court. Well, I never quite finished it. My daughter was all grown up now and moved out, but she was big into basketball, and so I built this full-size half court for her. Anyhow, since we're not using it as a basketball court anymore, we're now starting to store firewood on it. And what we did is we put them in IBC totes. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 of them. We have a couple of the large ones, 3 of the large ones, and we have some small ones here. And again, this is what we have here. We have some poplar in here. Yeah, this one here is mostly poplar, even though the stuff dries fast though. It really does. So, but you know, it's wood, it burns. This one here is mostly birch. We have some, I think that might be some of the driftwood we got from over at the camp that we split up. Don't have any idea what that is. Then we have some maple, some more birch, a little bit of ash, some poplar. So basically those are the kind of species of wood that we have around here. So this is just what we have in our yard. Some of that I'll probably have to use if we sell it, because we do have a restaurant that's interested in our firewood, and we also just purchased a little bundler. It's not a bundler, it's a bagger from Wolf Ridge, but I'm going to go over that in a later video, or actually one that I've already done, and I just have to edit and get it posted. We don't have it yet. So now I'm going to take a quick run down to where our wood yard is and show you what we have down there for inventory so far. And I'll be right back. So why walk down to where all the wood is when I can just drive it on the tractor? Yeah, so just like that, I'm down in the upper pit. That's what we call the upper pit. It's actually a wood yard. It's where we do all of our processing. We have our wood processor here, which I'm not going to introduce just yet. I already did a video on that. I'm going to show that, introduce that later. We have our processor here. We have our splitter here. I keep my backhoe down here that I use to transport the split firewood down into the lower section, what we call the lower pit. So now I'll take a little walk. So anyways, as we go on this journey, I'll tell you what our plan is. Our plan is to not sell, and I repeat, not sell bulk firewood. And bulk firewood has a lot of time involved, and time is something I just don't have. I'm on the road during the week. My business that actually makes money and puts food on the table, traveling around working on machine tools throughout New England. And so this is just a weekend thing. Like I said, it's a hobby. Hobby we enjoy. I mean, we're outside, getting some fresh air, we're working. It just feels good just to be out here and cutting and splitting wood. And my wife really enjoys it too. It's a lot of fun. It really is. As much work as it is, it's a lot of fun. So anyhow, down here, what we call the lower pit, is where we're storing our firewood, and we're stacking it, stuff we're going to sell. And all the stuff that I showed you earlier was the stuff that's around the house. That's what we're going to burn for ourselves. I mean, I may have to dip into that somewhat, but this stuff down here is the stuff we're going to sell. And I've got 3, 6, must have about 8 cords all stacked up so far. Yes, let me show them to you. And we also have some pine. We split up some pine the other day that she got free. And, you know, pine is fine. Pine burns. So we get that stacked up here. We have this stuff here we're going to use for like camp wood. This is the stuff that's going to go in the bags, sell it as camp wood. We'll mix in some poplar with this. I mean, it's not for heating. It's basically just for sitting around a little campfire and enjoying the pops and the snaps of a crackling fire. But over here is our wood that we're going to be selling probably to the restaurant. Now we've got these situated, these rows are due exactly north and south. I've got about 8.5 feet of separation between them, so we get plenty of air. They'll be able to get sunlight on both sides. Plus it also allows me to get in between here with a mower so I can keep it cleaned up. So this is what we have so far for inventory. I'm going to come down here and bulldoze some of this other section down here, flatten it out some, and make it a little bit better for stacking wood. So yeah, with these things north and south, obviously we're going to get morning sun on one side, afternoon sun on the other. And I used an IBC tote, the bladder. I cut up the sides of it so I could use it as a cover, keep the rain off. I don't know if you can see that or not, yeah. And we've got on this one here, we've got our old hot tub cover that I cut in half. The other one's lying on the ground right here because we get some pretty good wind around here, so I gotta put that back on. Anyway, so this is our inventory for firewood so far. Yeah. So on this one, on one of these piles, I actually we stacked what oak we had. We stacked that on the outside of this, because there's 3 rows. They're 20 feet long, 24 feet long, so each row is a cord. That's how we get 3 cords out of one of these stackings on these pallets. We put the oak on the outside so it can get the morning and afternoon sun. Then we put the easier drying stuff like the maple and the birch in the middle rows. So it'll should all dry about the same. I'm hoping anyhow, that's the plan. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, some of this is cracking up pretty nicely. We got nice little splits in it. I don't know if you can see that or not. Probably not. Yeah, it's coming along pretty well. So that's the plan so far. Obviously, there's a big learning curve involved in firewood. We're going to be learning. We're asking you to come along, have some suggestions, comments, critiques. I'm wearing my big boy pants. I can take criticism. Yeah. So they bundled. No, let's start over again. So anyways, the restaurant is going to eat up, from speaking to the general manager, they eat about a cord a week. I mean, that's quite a lot of wood for a small outfit to begin with. You're looking at 50 cords a year. Our plan is to sell between 50 and 100. And I think that's going to be plenty enough for now, just starting out. More than enough. I have a feeling I won't be able to keep up with that. But we're going to give it a shot. Some of the pine and the poplar, stuff like that, and we'll probably throw in some birch and some maple in our bundled wood that we sell in a roadside stand. Or actually, we're looking at a couple of different places for roadside stands. We'll save out that kind of wood for that, because I've got about 100 acres here, and there's a lot of poplar. We've got some oak, we've got some maple, a little bit of ash, and a cherry tree here and there. So I've got to kind of pick and choose what I'm going to cut, stuff that's going to dry in the proper amount of time, so we can sell it and sell decently seasoned wood. I guess that's how you might say it. What else? Right. So that is the plan as it stands right now. Hopefully we'll have some educational stuff involved in these videos. We've got degree day stuff I want to go over, BTU values of wood, firewood. There'll be some videos involved with any aspects of this firewood thing. I mean, I go over to the shop and make some stuff for firewood. I made some wedges, felling wedges. Tomorrow, I've got to get the bulldozer down here and fix up this road. We had some serious rain lately, and it really chewed up this road. So, of course, I was running back and forth with it on the backhoe. So I'm going to come down with a bulldozer, get it all cleaned up, make it a little bit better. So a lot of things involved in our business. I was in the excavation business for 24 years, so I have some equipment. And I think it's going to translate nicely over into the firewood business. I mean, the backhoe for one. The tractor I rode in over here was a birthday present for my wife, who from now on I'll be referring to as the program director, because obvious reasons. Good Lord, she's the one that keeps my brain straight, if that's even possible. But that's a little 4300 John Deere that I bought her back. It's got to be 20 plus years ago now. And just recently got some forks for it, which is excellent for loading up the log rack and other things. And as it is, I got to go and do some repairs on it. So it's the mower deck is like 20 some odd years old. Bought that with the tractor. Had one wheel go bad. Yeah. This wheel here is all messed up. Tried getting it out. It is locked in there. So I'm going to cut it off, drill it out. I got a new wheel. I've got some new mower blades. Brand new blades for this old rig. So I'm going to fix that up now. That's my next project. That's coming up in a few minutes. So, like I said, as we go along with this little journey, we're going to make mistakes. I'm going to need some suggestions. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. Today we just got back from the, what's it called? The Northeast what? Not lumber, Northeast timber. Oh yeah, is it timber? anyways, we just got from this show that was up in Bangor. I can't. This is the thing about getting old, man. You just forget stuff. Anyway, so we came back from this timber show up in Bangor, in which we saw Joe from Ohio Woodburner. We saw Bob from Metz Machine. We saw Jerry with a G from Easton Made, and we spoke to Chris from Wolf Ridge. These super nice people. It was good talking to all of them. They're very helpful, answering questions. Actually, was straight. Oh, and also Tom from Fox Forestry. He's the guy that we bought our firewood processor from, and we chatted with him at length because we're looking into updating or upgrading our firewood processor. We like the one we have, but a wee bit small. So anyhow, over here, and it's a mess right now, but we also spoke to a guy that has it's called kiln or something. I can't remember what it's called. Anyways, they have this contraption you can put onto a Connex box and turn it into a firewood kiln. And I tell you what, that's very interested in that. That was very intriguing. So anyhow, I'd like to put that. I want to bulldoze this area here, make it flat, compact it, get some gravel in here, and possibly make a pad for a 20-foot Connex box in which we can make it into a firewood kiln, because that would be a game changer. Anyways, that's something that's in the works. So right now I gotta go back and fix this machine. Tomorrow I'm gonna come back down here, possibly do some bulldozing, and if all goes well, I've got to cut down a couple trees, process some more firewood. We got to try and process about a cord a week, just to try and keep up with what we think is going to be our demand. And once again, suggestions would be welcome. And that's it. That's it for today, folks. So till next time, that's my story.